listening to the Krooked Hearts Podcast.
Hey everybody, how's it going? This is Andy the Pie Diehl from the Krooked Hearts Podcast. This is episode number 5 here. I'm throwing a little love out to all the listeners. We've seen some exponential numbers grow here with our listeners and the fan base, so I just want to thank everybody for that and all the love. Miss Desi killed it. She's got quite a following. We've on her Facebook posts basically have already reached 1,606 people. She's got over 350 views on YouTube and growing as we go every day. So definitely a nice response from the fans, from the listeners out there. I encourage you to spread the word, see if we can get that much more subscribers and that much more people to just support this local Temecula-based podcast that we are doing here. I can only assume we are just going to keep growing as we go. We do have Mr. Hunter Havokk on this episode, and we'll be jumping into that into a minute here. How I met him, I will just kind of go into that for a minute, is that I was new to the town, new to the scene, just going to college here at Mount San Jacinto with my audio engineering classes, and had asked my teacher at the time about where there was local open mic nights or places to play, and at the time he had mentioned check out the open mic night down there at Shamrocks, and went down after class one night and checked it out. There was a young cat running the whole show. I mean, just killing it. He got up and played a couple blues songs with some older cats and slayed it, and was the one that was running the whole show as well. So he was double duties that night, and got to talking to him for a minute, and he said, yeah, he's been running the open mic night there for a little bit, and I got up and played some songs that night myself, and kind of just struck up a conversation with him and let him know that I was new to the town. And so unfortunately that open mic night did end not too long after, but I know that that was the connection that I had made with Hunter, and then through the scene in town had seen him different various places and stages of different things, and had ran into him here at the shop where we do our interviews, and was interested in getting him in, and he jumped on it. So it was really great to jump into his beginnings, his story. He's had a long journey himself, as many of us have and will continue to have as we go through on our musical conquests here in town and far and beyond. So enjoy, listen, laugh, cry, learn all kinds of things. And we will check in at the end of the episode with some of the endeavors that he has going on as well. So thank you so much for listening. I really appreciate all the listeners out there. Much love to y'all. Keep spreading the word, spread the gospel. We'll get some more action on the subscribers, and check out this episode.
Oh, so we don't rock headphones or anything like that?
If you want, I can.
Nah, it's all good.
I kind of like the organic thing.
Nah, I dig it. We're going without headphones, man. It's raw dogging it.
Yeah, exactly.
That's cool.
Yeah, so I'm familiar with you. Go ahead and introduce yourself.
I am Hunter Havokk. I make YouTube videos and play the guitars, fiddles.
Right. Sponsored by Schecter.
Yeah, with Schecter Guitars.
GHS,
yep.
Yeah.
Love those companies. I've been with Schecter for 3 years now, and we're actually working on a guitar pickup collaboration.
Killer, dude.
I'll be selling custom pickups on my website coming next couple months.
And it has your signature H on there.
Signature H on there and whatnot.
That is so cool.
Yeah, man. I'm really proud of that H. When I designed it myself, I was got real stoned and started sketching. And I have Adobe Creative Cloud because it makes sense to get, for video software and stuff like that. So I brought in Illustrator and did all the lines and stuff myself. Actually,
it's a cool looking little emblem, dude.
It's based off my actual signature. When I sign checks and shit, I just took the H from that, and then I always kind of been into sharp edges.
Yeah.
A huge Metallica fan too, so there's some influence from there. And
I get it now. Yeah.
Just threw it all together and whatnot.
And then I saw on your Instagram you had the pics and everything.
Sorry, let me just grab this.
Oh, it's all good, man.
Basket stuff.
What was that?
Let me just. All right. There we go. So I noticed on your Instagram you had some pics and whatnot, and I saw the signature pickup, which was hella cool. And no, I was like, dude, this guy's got it going on.
Yeah, we're working on T-shirts. We have hats now.
Okay.
Yeah, we're working on getting some snapbacks printed up and some more flex fit ones.
Merch.
Merch, man.
Yeah.
It's fun because I've always liked the idea of having merch and stuff like that. And now that we have these logos and I'm doing the stuff with the videos and whatnot, it makes sense to do it because I'm not gigging out with this particular thing quite yet. I want to get some originals written and kind of start going down that path.
Right.
But for now, I'm just mixing and doing what I do with Hunter Havokk and all my freelance work and stuff.
So give me a little background, bro. Tell me. So I saw you're from
Arizona.
Yeah,
Phoenix.
Okay, that's right. What, Phoenix, Arizona?
Yeah, Phoenix.
So very hot out there.
Oh, hot as fucking balls,
dude.
Yeah, it's I'll get I think the hottest summer I was there got to 120.
Okay.
Yeah, man, it's like
I think my cousin's in Bullhead or something like that.
Bullhead? Yeah, it still gets hot out there too.
Yeah. I've driven through Phoenix though, and it is hot as crap, bro.
Yeah, it doesn't cool down at night either, especially in the summer, man.
It's humid.
Yeah, it's fucking 90 degrees at night, dude. Good luck.
So born and raised?
Yeah, I was there till I was about 13, then moved to San Diego.
Okay.
My dad's
talk about a climate control difference.
Oh, I know, right?
Like,
I was so excited, dude. It was the best transition ever.
So cool there, yeah.
Yeah, dude, I love San Diego, and then we were there for about a year, and now we've been in Marietta ever since. My dad's a plumbing contractor, so we just kind of moved wherever his business went.
Work pulled him that way, or what?
Yeah, well, the economy crashed in Arizona at the time, and a lot of the plumbing jobs went down, and my dad owns his own business, so we picked up shop and moved over to San Diego because he already had a second license going on over there, and just started building the company over here.
Sweet. And the family went in tow?
Yeah, family went in tow, and then all of us would work for Pops too, put in our time.
Right, yeah.
It's cool.
So we moved from Arizona, we go out to the beach area, and then we moved to Marietta.
Yep. And
how long you been there since?
I've been in Marietta for about 10 years now.
Okay.
But no, not 10 years. 22. No, 8.
8 years. Okay.
8.
So we went from hot to cool to a little bit hot in the middle.
Yeah, middle ground.
Yeah.
It's hot enough to remind me of Arizona, but not so hot to where I'm like, man, fuck this shit.
Yeah, right.
Get me out of here.
So give me a little background on when you started playing guitar, what music, where would the inspiration come for that whole background
Ever
story?
since I was a kid, I love Metallica. One of my earliest memories is seeing S&M live on my parents' TV. James Hetfield with the Ken Lawrence Explorer, rocking out to some low jams.
Yeah.
And then
what album did you start out with?
Injustice for All.
Injustice. Okay.
Yeah, that was my first album.
It wasn't the Black Album.
Yeah, no, it wasn't the Black Album. I love all Metallica albums. I'm a huge Metallica fanboy. Right. That's James Hetfield can do no wrong.
Yeah.
Even the Lulu stuff is hey, they're fucking awesome riffs. Yeah. Don't care for what Lou Reed's doing, but the fucking monster riffs, dude.
Right.
So, but yeah, I always been a huge Metallica fan, and then Guitar Hero came out when I was about 9, and started playing that, and mashing the green and red buttons. And
before you actually hit a guitar.
Before I actually hit a guitar, and then I got a guitar for Christmas that year, but
how old were you?
I was 9.
Okay.
I broke a string on it and got in trouble because I kept on fucking tuning the thing. Cause how those Star Pack guitars come with strings with them?
The cheapies.
Oh, cool. I was that's how much of a gearhead I was back then. I want to change the strings on this, and it's all that stuff, and broke a string on that. Then it sat in the closet till I was about 11.
Okay.
And then when we moved to another neighborhood, it's kind of by Lake Pleasant. In Arizona, our next door neighbor had a Taylor acoustic guitar, and he played Radiohead and shit like that, and he taught me how to play Sweet Dreams by Eurythmics, but the Marilyn Manson version.
Yeah, right. Yeah,
that's the cooler one to play.
Okay. Yeah.
And then that led into Fade to Black, and then led into Crazy Train, and then I started taking lessons over at MEK Music from a good buddy of mine, Steve Sutsky. He was an awesome jazz guitarist, and I think he does music therapy now. But when I was taking lessons from him at the time, he was studying at ASU.
Is that a podcast too? The music therapy or the
music therapy? No, that's like a field you can go into where you work with kids with disabilities, whether it be autism or just whatever just a form of therapy.
I thought I saw something on Anthony Collins' thing that had the music therapy thing, and then there was a hashtag with podcast, and I was like, there another podcast I don't know about or something?
It might be. It very well might be.
Yeah.
Yeah. I just know it for the field of study because my buddy Steve was doing it, and I was with him for a number of years until we moved over to California.
Okay.
And he taught me C major scales, intervals,
right,
all that good stuff.
Yeah, you got into it all.
I'm a huge fucking nerd, dude.
Yeah, that's great.
Love music, guitar, all that stuff.
Yeah. Well, I've personally seen you shred.
Oh, thanks.
And not just on videos. Like I said, I did see you at the open mic night over there, and I was like, you were kind of running it and this and that, and then you got up there and there was some older cats that were playing bass and drums and stuff, and you got up there and I was like, oh crap, dude.
I love playing with the older cats, man.
Dude. Yeah.
The old cats throw down, dude.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, they had the meat potato section going for you, and you were just screaming over it, dude.
Yeah, man.
Damn, okay, so he's not just running the show here.
I got a chance to use all my Zakk Wylde licks.
Oh, hell yeah, dude. Yeah. So, yeah, when I first saw you, I was like, okay, he's not just a showrunner for the, open mic night thing. Mm-hmm. This cat's got some skills, dude. So I was impressed the first time I saw you. I'm a Hendrix guy and all that, so I could see
dude, Hendrix is a bad motherfucker, dude.
Yeah, I could see your skills for sure when I first saw you. I was like, okay, there's something going on over here. This kid's been playing for a while. You can always tell,
Yeah.
Yeah. So you got the music theory thing going. I'm more of an improvised kind of just blues kind of just by ear thing, and I've always been a little, maybe somewhat jealous of the scaling, but I just always kind of felt like it will detract from the soul, which I know it won't. I've met enough players now that I'm old enough to know that it just there's a way to mesh the two worlds. But as a younger kid, I was just like, I don't want to be tainted by trying to math things out or I want to keep it soulful and just be able to improvise and stuff. And I know that was probably, now in retrospect, probably the wrong way to go. Now I feel like I'm too old to learn
you're never too old for
theory,
never too old for anything, man.
Yeah.
But I gotta be honest, when I first started learning how to solo, it was a very similar kind of thing. I was just really into the Allman Brothers, and Leonard Skinner and Eric Clapton too, and just kind of pulling from pentatonic scales and learning how to use them for the first time, and
that box scale.
Yeah, putting licks together and stuff like that, and then out of wanting to elaborate on that and come up with cooler licks, that's kind of how I fell into theory. Because I learned about intervals and that stuff at an early age, but I didn't really apply it into my soloing until later. Once I started taking lessons from Mike Baccarella and Brendan Kilpatrick, that's when I really started to kind of learn about taking these scales and applying them in an improvisational sense.
Okay.
It was just a lot of fun.
Yeah, for sure.
And I see what you mean, because sometimes I gotta fight using the scale as a scale and more as a means to create melody.
Right. Yeah. Yeah, I don't want to get stuck in a rut, but I mean, at the same time, now that I'm older, I'm I see the importance and the relevance of knowing all the inside and outs. I have a friend that I play with that's violin, cello, guitar, bass. I mean, he's got all this musical theory behind him, man, and I see what he does, and I'm like, okay, I should have probably took the time out to maybe, and I think the first time that I was intrigued by it was Song Remains the Same, the movie with Paige, and I can't remember what song it was, but it's Madison Square Garden. You've seen it, I'm sure.
Oh yeah.
And there's a song where they're going into the key changes. Say it's a G, A, C, D or something, and for each chord change, he's scaling in that key of what. And I was like, wait, it's it kind of clicked for me. I'm like, you don't just play in the key for the chord changes. You can play. He's playing at the 3/5, then he's going back up to and he's going and he's playing with the key changes. I was like, holy crap, dude, that's where the music theory comes in right there.
It's pretty fun, man.
Holy moly.
Playing to chord changes is the way to go. And the easiest one to work on that stuff is honestly the blues, because especially if it's all dominant seventh chords, you can kind of experiment with that kind of thing with the Mixolydian scale, because it got that flat 7 in there.
Okay.
Mess around with that. It's tasty.
Yeah.
You got to get used to the flavors of it, though. I'm teaching this one guy right now modes, and it's just you want to hit a drum note and then play your scale, and then to hear the flavor of that scale.
Right.
One thing I've noticed
that's rooting and scaling kind of thing, maybe, or no? Hitting a drone note and then.
Yeah, you hit a drone note and then you'll play whatever shape that you were told was associated with it. So if somebody learns a scale shape, like let's say they learn that thing called a Dorian scale shape, which if I had a guitar video, I could, I was like, oh fuck, this is all audio.
That's your fingers moving and nothing's happening,
right? Like sometimes, like especially when you learn from the internet, like you'll learn all this proper shapes and stuff like that, and how they all fit together. But that's just like major, like that's like all like just like one like big major scale all put together. If you actually put the shape that they have designated for Dorian on the root and you play that drone note, then you actually start to get the flavor of those notes.
And it's one thing to sit in your room and practice all these like modes and scales and stuff.
It's the funnest
But once
shit.
you get into playing with other people and hearing it with those that's where, I mean, nowadays you got like loopers and stuff where you can really hear all that stuff. But if you're just a kid playing in your room, it's like, it's cool, but it's not as cool as like when you actually get in a room with some other people. You know,
I'll tell you what though, man, I've had a ball by myself, dude, working on some scales. Dude, I'll tell you, man. Yeah, dude, it's good stuff. You don't have to go out and spend money. You just hang in your room. And
you can get dorky with it. It's all good, dude. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, man. That was me in jazz band, dude. I was just like, because our jazz band in school wasn't very competitive, and like I was gigging a lot at the time, so I'd just go kind of hide in the TA's room and work on my scales, learn Richie Kotzen licks, and practice for my gigs that Saturday.
Poison,
right?
I know he's a solo guy. He's a solo guy.
I know him more for his solo stuff, but I know he's in Poison for a minute. Until he banged the drummer's girlfriend or something like that.
Yeah, right. So
it's like, man, I was one of those behind the music things.
So take me back really. I know we got sidetracked.
That's all good.
But anyway, take me back to. You moved out here to Marietta now area. Yeah. You're what? You said 9?
No, when we moved to California, I was 13.
13. Okay.
Yeah, so 13, I was living in San Diego. And when we came up to Marietta, I started high school.
Okay.
Yeah.
And so, any high school band projects or anything like that you were getting into, or were you like a band guy? Like
I was in jazz band.
Jazz band.
I did that. And then,
did you play guitar in that? Or
I played guitar in that. And then,
you're lucky.
And then
the school. Were you the only jazz guitar player in the band?
There was 2 of them. That's why I was able to dip out and go work on my stuff for gigs in the back room.
Yeah.
And with the band director, he was like, "You're actually gigging, so you can go ahead and do that."
You already know some of this stuff.
Yeah. He's like, "Fine, you can go do your thing." Actually, looking back, I wish I would have been in there and forced myself to learn the charts and those chord shapes more, because it helped me out where I'm at.
Yeah.
Now
you just would have furthered you a little bit quicker, maybe.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, like I played a show Friday night, and I had to do The Girl from Ipanema, and I was like, having learned just different chord shapes to get ready for that, and it was like I had the skill set from reading charts,
right?
But, the knowledge of those scale shapes. I mean, not scale shapes, the chord shapes and stuff like that, using like 11 chords and 13 chords at a drop of a hat. I just didn't really have that up until a couple weeks ago.
Right.
I could just do the power chords and riffage and arpeggios and that's really all that's really required in like metal music and blues and stuff like that.
Yeah, for sure.
The jazz chart standard type things.
Oh, dude,
got to get them.
Those walk down chord changes and stuff with jazz stuff, dude, is so fingery and
it's so cool.
Yeah, I mean they squeeze so much in on those walk downs and stuff that's like, it's so cool. I mean, it's so cool. Instead of playing an A to a G or whatever to a whatever, it's like, I mean, there's so many cool little, the jazz stuff. There's a whole different world.
Yeah,
there,
I'm like just in my infancy with it. Like I'm starting to get digging more into like theory and stuff like that. Like listen to getting more into Miles Davis. Some Billy Cobham. Those kind of cats, and starting to kind of dip my toes into Return Forever.
Right.
Fucking Aldi Meal's a beast. Guy shreds for days.
Damn, dude. All right, so you did jazz band in high school.
Yeah,
and that was like all 4 years high school jazz band thing.
Yep. I think my senior year I had 3 periods of band. I had TA for band, I had jazz band, and then I had like a music theory class.
So you're doing jazz band in school, but at home you're listening to Metallica.
I do jazz band at school, and I also practice for my gigs there too. So I'd be like playing Allman Brothers, all that stuff, in the back room. And then at home, I'd practice improvisation to backing tracks and learning different tunes from metal bands.
Where were you getting your backing tracks from?
YouTube.
YouTube. Okay.
YouTube like A minor backing track, and then there's like 5,000. Just take your pick of blues backing tracks and just go to town.
That's killer.
You find the right one. Like sometimes you pick like our specific one. Like I like the BB King stuff because I'll think about it a little bit more. I get to be more tasteful about it.
Yeah.
You know, so I always kind of gravitate toward the B.B. King, you know, backing tracks and whatnot. Dude. It's good shit.
You got some soul in there too, you know,
man.
A little room to breathe.
Absolutely, dude. Yeah. Let the note be the note.
Right. So no Metallica at that point, or
Metallica's all the way through.
Because I'm just saying,
Metallica's all the way through. Metallica's all the way through. Lamb of God's all the way through. Pantera, all these stuff. I'm playing all these things all at the same time. Like, so
you're not just heavy. I mean, it's a little bit of everything.
Yeah, I'll play the stuff I need to play for my gigs, and then I'll play the stuff that I need to, you know, kind of practice, you know, my improvisation, and then, you know, now I did all that stuff. Now I can go back to playing, you know, One and Master Puppets and all that stuff, and that's kind of what led me into like making videos and stuff like that. I was like wanting to like film covers.
Okay.
You know, and then I kind of started getting like the engineering after high school.
Okay.
You know, and
so no bands or anything?
No bands or anything.
Okay,
you know,
just
like,
always solo?
Just hired gun stuff.
Okay.
You know, I that's pretty much mostly what I've done.
In high school or out of high school? Or
in and out, yeah.
Okay.
I like in high school, like I did my open mic thing, and then I would play in like an acoustic duo every once in a while.
Okay.
And I was doing that for a bit. And then after high school, I started working with this YouTuber, Macy Kate. And we would do...
Tell me about this artist, because I saw a little bit of that on your Instagram. She had her own guitar and all that stuff.
Yeah, no, she's really cool, really talented. She's like a really good pop soul singer.
Okay.
She... at the time, she was kind of going for more like a pop rock kind of vibe.
Okay.
So she wanted guitars.
So how'd you get in with her?
DNT. They're a talent management company out of Orange County.
Okay.
And I had met them through my acoustic duo.
Okay.
I was booking at the time. And then, you know...
They catch you guys playing somewhere or something?
I show up to a gig an hour early. And
okay.
I didn't know that they changed our time to an hour later. So I, you know, hanged out, set up, ate my sandwich, and then... You know, the guy who was booking me at the time, Jimmy, he introduced me to Danny and her parents and whatnot, and they were super cool, and that kind of, you know, started, you know, the relationship of like, hey, like, you know, come out to our office in Orange County, and made the drive up to Tustin, and, you know, hung out and, you know, did all that thing. I did a couple gigs underneath them with that acoustic project, and then, you know, just that, the acoustic project kind of fell to the wayside. The singer moved to Colorado, and then I, you know, had to find people to fill in, and that kind of started like this whole thing of just kind of like, you know, fill in, hire gun, you know, like let's get together and like play a gig kind of thing with a bunch of different people.
Okay.
And then
revolving people.
Yeah, it was a revolving door of musicians just to, you know, keep you know, dates on the calendar and, you know, keep residencies that were up. Like I've been at Crush and Brew since I was 16, you know, playing over there, and then, you know, just different wineries here or there just to kind of keep the books full so I can, you know, still do it for a living.
Right.
You know?
Yeah.
And then after that, I
How old were you when you hooked up with Macy?
I want to say 17.
Okay.
17.
So still in high school or out?
Out. No, in. I was in. It was a summer. I think the summer I graduated, I believe.
Okay.
If I remember correctly.
Right.
Yeah, I'm trying to dig in my brain. Like, yeah.
It was so long ago.
So long ago. This is my stoner. No, I don't want to say stoner memory because there's some people who smoke way more pot than I do, way more right do.
Yeah.
It's just, you know, I got holes and whatnot.
That's so good for you. That I mean, right out of high school, dude, or, you know, and
it was
hooking
rad.
up with, you know, a pop artist like that. I mean, not a lot of people would get an opportunity like that.
Yeah, she had a thing she was doing at the fair, San Diego Fair that year. And, you know, they wanted an acoustic guitar player. And I initially said no because I had another date booked that night. Mm-hmm. And I told my dad, and he was like, you're a fucking idiot.
Yeah, right.
He's like, go,
opportunity knocking here.
Go, cancel the gig with, you know, Simon and your duo. Like, fuck that.
Yeah.
You go call Danny back, and you get on that however you need to get on it.
Right.
So I went on it, and I was initially going to get paid for it. But because, you know, you said
declined,
no,
and then
what came out, I was like, fuck it, I'll do it for free. I don't give a shit, man. I just want to play it.
It'll open the door to get paid down the road for sure.
Exactly. It was such a cool show, man. It was legit. We played some cool songs, you know, like she would do like some different like hip hop songs, but acoustic, and that was always kind of cool to see.
So were you learning some of her original stuff really quick style?
I was learning some
there?
She had, I think, a couple originals at the time, and her stuff back then was more like, you know, just kind of pop rock rock, simple, power chorus, the whole thing, and just kind of, like I'd say kind of like Paramore a little bit.
Okay.
That's kind of what she was going for at the time. So, was just kind of doing that.
Right.
And
it's a paid gig for you, so you're like, whatever, teach me.
I love learning music
give me the chords,
in general.
I'll play them.
I'll learn anything. I'll learn Kanye West tunes. I'll learn, Dave Brubeck. It doesn't, anything, man. Just, I love music.
Yeah.
And then after that, they kind of dropped off. Like, they went back to Florida. Then I started working in a bunch of other cover bands in San Diego, like Cassidy Project, and
as a hired gun kind of thing.
Yeah, hired gun as a fill-in guitar player. Then then I started working with Republic of Music down there too. It was hired gun, kind of fill in here and there for other guitar players and stuff like that. And now, after doing that for a while, I'm actually a part of their pool of guitar players that they
call upon.
Yeah. Call upon and put gigs together, and that's fun because they always do different stuff. They have some different songs I'd never heard before. Like, I had no idea there's a plethora of badass Stevie Wonder tunes out there. I only just knew them for Higher Ground and Superstition, but it's Signed, Sealed, Delivered, Overjoyed. There's some badass motherfucking tunes. It's what? Dude, Sir Duke, I Wish. Dude, those songs are fire, and I never had to learn those before working with a band like Rom, where it's hey man, those are standards. It's people love hearing these tunes.
Right.
So you gotta learn these tunes, man.
Totally. Yeah.
So I kind
throw it in the repertoire.
Throw that all into my thing, and then Macy moves out back to California to do some stuff or whatever, and she had a thing going on with Daisy Rock and wanted guitar lessons, and we actually had a guitar lesson over in the other room over there.
Oh, okay.
Then, she wanted me to join her band. I was like, sweet, I'll join. Absolutely. Thank you very much. And, then we did a Warped Tour that year and played
that was 2015, I believe,
2015,
right?
yeah. And then we did YouTube Fan Fest, which that was awesome.
Okay.
And then, after all that, she decided she wanted to change her direction and go kind of more a R&B, hip-hop, pop kind of thing.
Okay.
Away from the rock thing, which is more my specialty.
Right.
It's all right, cool.
Yeah.
You do your thing and I'll do mine.
So how many dates did you guys do Warped Tour? You do full tour or?
Not the full tour. We did.
Just a leg?
Yeah, we did a leg. We did from Atlanta, Georgia to Jacksonville, I believe.
Okay, cool.
No, I think it was Jacksonville or West Palm Beach.
Okay.
I forgot which one where it ended.
Yeah.
It was all kind of a blur because I was still kind of jet lagged from the Philippines.
Yeah.
Because we literally did the Philippines for 14 hours, and then we had to stop in Nashville, grabbed our bus, went to Georgia, and then did that whole thing, and then then I was home.
Was that your first good taste of doing some gigging and traveling and all that?
Yeah, gigging and traveling.
Road life.
Yeah, dude, it was awesome. It was my first experience was different than what most people have. It wasn't on a van; it was on a bus, and had a coffin, and fridge was stocked with beer, and we're parking next to Blackville Brides and Pierce Vale. I was like, "This is fucking awesome!"
Yeah, hell yeah, man!
This is so awesome.
Got to jump right into it.
Yeah, it was super cool, man. I loved it, and it was I want to get back to that point, but with my own thing.
So at this point, you're what? Still 17, 18 years old?
I'm about 18 at this point.
Okay,
yeah, 18, and getting closer to 19.
That's awesome.
Yeah,
dude.
man, fun stuff.
Yeah. Okay, so that band kind of she goes and does her own thing, and then,
it's gonna.
So from there for you,
yeah.
What's the next step for you?
I started making videos and getting into doing all that thing, and making my own cover videos, and so I'd do them all from the ground up. So I'd take the song, I'd chart them all out, and then I'd record all the elements of it. I'd program the drums, I'd record the bass, and I'd record all the guitars and write a solo. So, and then I have different singers and stuff sing on it too.
Tell me, where do you do this? It looks very professional.
Oh, it's in my front room, man. I hang curtains down, and that's it.
I mean, it looks good, bro.
Thank you.
You got a really sweet little setup going, and what kind of cameras are you using?
Canon T5Is.
Okay, so you got some nice cameras. Cause
right.
it looks profesh, dude. I was really kind of impressed with your setup, and okay, so your gear and stuff, you've sunk some money into it, or is that something you got sponsored with the stuff? Or?
Well, the guitars are
the Schecters, obviously.
I'm with Schecter on that, and then GHS.
But you got the Bogners, you got the Marshall, the Orange, the Fenders.
No, XFX 3. It's I'm balls deep in it, man.
Yeah.
Yeah. And also plugins too. The
plugins, dude.
Gear is a never-ending cycle
for sure.
I'm hoping to end the cycle with as far as amplifiers are concerned, and pedals and effects. effects and stuff like that with the Axe FX 3, and so far it's done its job. Like, I mean, I almost bought a Caroline triptych, you know, a couple months ago for like $3,000 or whatever, how much that thing cost, and then I just told myself, no, it's like sign up for the wait list for Axe FX, and lo and behold, they actually have a model of the triptych on there, and it sounds just like it.
Oh, okay,
feels just like it. I mean,
that's through the Pro Tools, the plugins.
No, the Axe FX 3 is a 3-space rack mount unit preamp. I actually almost brought it with me because I use it for church now.
Right.
So.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, it's a cool piece of gear, and it you know, lets me keep my you know, amps at home in the studio.
Right.
So I don't put
get the sound you need just off a preamp.
Yeah, I don't have to put so much, you know, time on the tubes and stuff like that, because like my Orange is like $500 to retube, and whenever that one you know, goes out, it sucks. I actually have to get fuses replaced on it because it blew up.
So now is it more like the amps are just for recording, that kind of thing?
Yeah, mostly for recording, or if I go to like a jam or something like that and I don't want to lug my Axe FX, I'll probably take either like my Mini Mesa or my Mini Friedman, because I have a Friedman Friedman what the fuck is it, Run 20. The Run 20, it was like their first like PCB board amp, and then I have the Mesa Mark 525. It's a badass little, you know, 25-watt amp with direct out and reverb tank.
You got some sweet gear, bro.
I'm a gear head, dude.
That's the way to go.
I'm a tone nerd, dude. Tone nerd aficionado. Yeah, I got 2 pedal boards I run separately. I got a little mini pedal board I have, and then I have my big full-on, like, you know, just the stomp boxes out the wazoo, like Earthquaker stuff's on there. MXR. You know.
Now, are you strictly just doing the Schecter GHS and like the gear and the rest of stuff? Do you have a day job, or like
what's all just music, 100%. So like I'll teach, I'll do sessions, I'll make videos for other people. I make my own videos, and you know, and I gig a lot.
Do you have any sponsorship off of your videos or anything that you're doing with your YouTube stuff or any of that?
I've done some collaborations with Slate in the past with their Everything bundle, and that was really helpful. Cool. And then you know, I haven't done anything with them since, but I'm totally love to do something with them in the future. I've been using Waves recently because they have that killer sale going on right now. They stick you with the updates, which like. I was able to avoid it the first couple times, and then when I upgraded my main computer to iMac Pro, I got totally screwed over because it's High Sierra, and it's like there's no way for the plugins I had to run that one, because everything for the last like 3-4 years, through the last 3 years is all on LCAP, iOS, you know, 10.10, whatever, and then I got my new computer, and I can't bring it back to LCAP where the plugins would work because it's built at High Sierra. I'm like, shit. So I had to go get a new Apollo interface.
Upgrade.
And drop a wad of cash on upgrading the plugins. I'm like, shit. They got me. They got me good. So be aware of that. Watch out for them updates.
So are you splicing all your video that you do through Pro Tools as well?
No, I use Premiere Pro for that. Yeah, I'll take all my takes in Premiere Pro, and what I'll do is I'll record the audio of it, and then I'll play all the parts, you know, and whatnot, and then I'll take it into an editing software.
And you got a few cameras set up for your kind of splitting or whatever, right? Yeah.
I used to do 2 camera setups, but when you're framing shots by yourself, it's hard to get 2 shots looking good while you're in one place, because I always found myself kind of feng shuiing my body to make one camera look good, and then the shot just be okay. I'm like, I'd rather just save the battery on the other one in case when that one dies, I have another camera to go to, and whatnot.
So you're just doing the one shot now?
Just the one shot.
So you learn as you go, though.
Exactly.
You know?
And like my family's super cool. Like it'll either be my mom or my sister. They'll do my moving shots for me. And stuff.
Cool.
And they're super cool and helpful.
Yeah, I
with
get
that.
my wife to help me sometimes with some stuff
Dude,
too.
it's awesome,
you gotta employ who you can, man.
Dude,
help me out.
I love my family. We're all a big team. You know,
That's
we're
cool,
all super
dude.
supportive of each other. Like, you know, like all of our passions that we love to do, we're all just behind each other 100%. Like, my little brother Gavin, like he's working with my dad, you know, but he also has his YouTube channel where he does a lot of gaming and stuff like that. And it's really cool to see him, you know, have a passion and pursue that too. You know, it's fucking awesome, man. And my sister, you know, she wants to be a doctor and whatnot, and so we're supporting that. Med school is going to be a big thing to pay for.
Hey man, family backup is huge. You know what I mean? Having
man.
that. I mean, some people don't have it, some people do. And I feel like you can really see the difference between someone sticking it out, and people that kind of like just can't seem to, find a way to light at the end of the tunnel. They just probably don't have enough support.
Exactly.
I mean, having that pushes you over that extra little lump in the edge where maybe you were going to give up, but you got that other factor coming and giving you that push and that nudge to say,
absolutely,
I'm right behind you, keep going, there's light at the end of the tunnel, keep going.
Well, yeah, especially like when you have people on your side who've been there, but in different parts of like their life and stuff like that. Like my dad has been through a lot in his life, and he's like, dude, like what you're going through right now, it sucks, but dude, man, fucking you're still on this side of the dirt.
Yeah, right.
So I'm just I'm incredibly thankful that we're all just a bunch of ride and die pack of wolves, dude.
Nice.
We're all got each other's back. It's fucking awesome.
That's a good thing to have, my friend.
It's good,
definitely.
Man.
So, like I said, I'm impressed with your videos and whatnot, and that's something that you do. You do all your own social media, I'm assuming.
Yeah.
Like you got the Instagram and the Facebook and all that.
Mm-hmm.
What's the latest kind of things that are going on for you? I mean, since you were gigging and doing all that stuff, do you gig at all now? I mean,
I do, yeah.
What kind of shows do you play now, and who do you play with?
I play with Republic of Music a lot, and then I have my own acoustic duo I do with Larry.
Okay.
Larry Vineyard. He's a awesome drummer and killer singer, and we'll do just kind of a mix of like anywhere from like the 60s to 2000s. Like I'm starting to get him to learn like more like Maroon 5 and stuff. Stuff to kind of get people up out of their chairs and dancing a little bit.
Yeah.
Sometimes like when we're getting ready to start our set, I'll bust out a little thing of Call of Cthulhu or whatever. Some little Metallica diddlies here and there. He has no idea when he gets back to the thing is like, what the fuck is this? Like, Larry, fucking just hit the congas, man. Like let's flow with it.
You guys are gigging anywhere from San Diego all the way up to here?
We mostly just gig here in town. Like we were at Crush and Brew last night, and then we were at Pub and Grub every Friday. So. And that's a cool project, man. It's really cool because Larry is such a great guy, and he has a plethora of experience behind him too.
Yeah.
And he's kind of really into like the classic rock, southern rock, soul, R&B stuff. So he's always pulling out just like these crazy tunes I never heard before. I was like, what? Like, there's this Wilson Pickett song we started doing called In the Midnight Hour. Which is totally about getting some.
Yeah.
It's totally about that.
Yeah.
But it's just, like these like different kind of songs, like Georgia Satellites, keep your hands to yourself, and things that I'd never like on my own volition, I'd never like go and like seek something like that out, which is why I like gigging with different people, because they have their own set of just different stuff, and you just kind of like, oh shit, hell yeah, let's get after it.
So that's an acoustic thing, but the Revolution thing, is that electric?
Republic of Music's all electric.
Revolution. Sorry,
no worries.
My bad.
All good, dude. That's all like.
That's the revolving musician thing you're talking about.
Yeah, well, they have a pool of musicians, and they'll book like
that's local.
That's in San Diego. They'll play anywhere like I think 3 or 4 shows in a night. Like they'll just have this book a bunch of different private events and fill it out that way. So and
where do the shows usually happen down there for that?
I was in Carlsbad Friday. And that's really cool, and it's really awesome working with them too, because they're all very experienced too. So like,
is that a venue on its own, or is there different venues that they book?
Venues all over the place.
Okay.
Like so, like I'll do like hornblower cruises with them sometimes. Sometimes
what's that place that Darren Greatly plays? Is it the Coyote Bar?
Coyote? Yeah, I was there. I played there last Sunday.
They have a cool little like patio setup, right?
Yeah, it's pretty hip over there.
Okay, cool.
I played with a number of bands, man. That's a cool little place.
Yeah, it looks cool.
Yeah, the freelance thing is just kind of whatever I can get to kind of like one push my ability and expand like learning different songs and stuff like that. Different material and get it down fast and make it sound good.
Yeah,
and then can broaden the horizons.
How much notice do you get when you get you got these new songs you got to learn? Like when's the gig? Is it like within the week or something?
It depends. Like the one I did last Sunday, I had 2 days notice.
Okay.
And then Rom, I usually get 2 weeks notice on the set list, which is pretty nice. But like this last one, there's a lot of songs on the set I didn't know, so I had to do a lot of charting and a lot of homework and wood shedding and stuff.
Right.
But now since I've done that, the gig I had with them in 2 weeks, like that's
be similar material maybe, or what?
A cakewalk compared to the prep I had to do.
I did the homework already.
Yeah, I did the homework. Well, like I used to
fun kicks in.
I used to not do it, but like charting out the songs you're supposed to know is so paramount to remembering everything.
Oh yeah.
Like even just kind of like even if you don't want to read your chart while you're performing, just to lock it in your brain, it's so. It's awesome because now you don't have to rely on like bullshit capo second fret chord charts for fucking Ultimate Guitar and stuff like those like ridiculous, you know.
Yeah.
Those ridiculous charts, man. Like I can't tell you when I was doing Daily Havokk 5 days a week, I'd like look up tabs and stuff, and it's like these are all fucking wrong.
Yeah,
you have to go like.
Isn't that crazy?
You have to watch like video.
But how do they get on the? I mean, I get it. The internet is, but there's so many wrong ones, and you're like,
big Wikipedia
I just
page, man. Let me tell you,
that's wrong. Yeah.
Yeah, dude. Like so, like you have to like resort to like watching like live footage and using your ear, trusting your ear, you know, like and kind of also knowing the artist a little bit.
Right.
Like you know, like I like doing a lot of like Zakk Wylde stuff. So like I'll like
the squeal, dude.
Do the squeal for days.
The squeal. Anyway,
everybody criticizes him about the squeal, but I respect
I love
the squeal,
dude.
It's when he's more tasteful with it now.
Yeah,
but like,
he is.
Excuse me. He has a song off his new record, Grimace Tits, called Disbelief, and he'll do it in the pre-chorus, and it's so perfectly placed where you're just like, you hear it, and it's like, fuck yeah.
No one does the squeal like he does, though, bro.
Oh, dude, nobody does, man.
No one does,
like,
dude.
It's like such a Zakk Wylde thing.
Yeah, man.
It's such a it's signature.
That first "Mama, I'm Coming Home" album, dude.
Oh yeah, No Rest for the Wicked. That's a killer record,
dude. I just and the young Zakk with like the no beard and just like the skinny little blonde haired Zakk, dude. That's the Zakk. I mean, I dig all Zakk, but I mean, dude, just seeing him up there shredding with the long hair with Ozzy and stuff, doing all that stuff. I mean,
his stage
the
presence was
Confederate
awesome.
Les Paul that he's got with the caps, the freaking bottle caps on it, dude. I mean.
I liked his like because in the early days of Ozzy, like how he'd move around the stage is like a half bat. It's like the most badass skip you ever seen a man do.
Yeah,
it's like,
bell bottoms and stuff.
Bell bottoms on everything. Like,
it.
Yeah, dude, you can respect the game.
I mean, he got a little roided out now. I don't know. I mean, I'm not saying.
No, he's all natural, dude. That guy hits the gym hard, dude. Like you follow him on Instagram, it's like it makes you just fucking. He's
a big dude.
Makes you feel lazy. I'm like, damn.
Me and my buddy Trevor, I was showing him some stuff, dude, and he's got his little platform.
Yeah.
The platform is so awesome, dude.
Dude, that's legit.
We were watching a video and I told him, I said, dude, I think he kind of, when he goes into his solos and stuff, he like steps up on something. And it was like the crowd, it was video footage from behind, but then we saw video footage of him on stage and he's got this little platform that he gets up and he stands up on so that he can rise up a little, like a step forward.
He has a long, like I saw him play with Zach Sabbath a couple
with Joey
couple
on
years
drums,
ago.
dude.
Such a fucking awesome show.
Dude.
If you haven't seen it, man, have you seen Zach Sabbath?
No, I have not.
Dude, if you love Black Sabbath and you love Zakk Wylde, dude,
it's the perfect combo.
It's awesome because like hearing.
I mean, I've seen the footage. You know what I mean? I've never seen live.
Shown Under the Grave in like such a lower tuning and then, like the energy behind that Zach, Blasco, and Joey put into it.
He's so monstrous with those guitars and everything. I mean, like it's just like I don't know.
Dude, it's so rad, man.
The beard, dude.
I saw them play, dude, and he like got out into the audience doing a like crazy long guitar solo. And he's I don't know if he's anti-wireless or what, but dude, he's recorded throughout the whole thing. He had like 6 guys holding the cable over their head. I'm like, damn, dude, you gotta have a line booster on that thing for sure, dude.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Yeah, man, it was a badass show. He's a killer performer.
Yeah,
and
he's
a killer
great
guitar player. Like
much props to him being on that movie, the Mark Wahlberg one, dude.
Yeah, dude, absolutely.
That shit was hilarious.
I read somewhere
he did all the music for that, dude. The guitar that you hear for that band is him, dude. I knew it because I heard the squeal.
And it's like the squeal
I saw the
gave it away.
Panther, whatever the hell the name of the band was, dude, and the squeal was in. I'm like, dude, that's got to be Zakk, dude. I looked it up. I IMDb'd it. It was like, yeah, that's Zakk, dude.
Yeah, that's legit, man. I remember reading somewhere in there like they had they had like an interview he did with Jim Norton on Opie and Anthony. And it's something about like they had a whole second ending planned, like the end screen, where he's like he's all on the outdoors and like what the band does now, and he has like a long beard and stuff.
Yeah.
And like that's what spawned the beard.
Oh, okay.
So we have that Mark Wahlberg movie to thank for the Zakk Wylde we have today.
Yeah. Yeah, dude, he's a monster, man. That guy can shred hard, but I don't even know how we segued into this whole Zakk Wylde talk,
man.
But
yeah. Whenever I talk about music, somehow we always end up into Zakk Wylde. I don't know why people hate on him, man. Because like
I've never come across any haters personally. I don't know. You're more in the metal world than I am.
I've met a couple haters who are like, oh, it's like a pentatonic scales, and I'm like, dude, have you heard his guitar solos? Like, dude, he's not.
Plus, he plays piano and shit, dude. I mean, he gets all soft on that and like
amazing songwriter, great vocalist. Like, he's just
a big burly dude. He's sitting down on a piano playing a ballad, dude.
Dude, he's badass.
He ain't scared. He ain't scared.
Yeah, dude. He's
like, I'll
he's like, whatever, man. I'll ballad this shit up right now, man.
Yeah, dude. I love that too, dude. I'm a sucker for a good ballad, dude.
Oh yeah,
that's
man.
Just me.
I saw Winery Dogs not too long ago, and Kotzen was doing a similar kind of thing.
Okay, yeah, I heard about that band.
Getting down with the piano and whatnot.
Right.
That's a killer band. That's Billy Sheehan and Mike Portnoy.
Right.
Killer band.
Oh, I know what we're segued with the tunings is what you were talking about.
Oh, yeah,
and I was thinking in my head about, for the tablatures and stuff, I'm a big Soundgarden guy and Pearl Jam and stuff. And as you said, these tablatures that you see, they're so wrong. You have to watch the videos, dude. And even when you watch the videos, because they're in these gnarly tunings, even watching their fingers and stuff kind of doesn't make sense. Because you're like, I'm like, what the hell tuning? Does Dagad or whatever? And like, I mean, there's some Soundgarden, dude. They throw some gnarly tunes. Like, it's a whole nother world, dude.
E, B, 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 B,
yeah, E, 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 B, B, B. Yeah, for my wave, dude. It's like, what the heck, dude? Like, who came up with that? You know? But,
it's crazy, man.
Yeah, they're tuning. I mean, that just makes it that much harder, even when you're, like you say, you got to watch the videos and watch the player. But then you're like, I'm watching you, and I still don't get it, man. Like,
dude, seriously.
How am I supposed to figure it out?
I had to dive deep on my Love Unreal cover, because I did it, like, I think a week or two after the album came out. So there's nobody had a chance to fuck up the internet with bad tabs,
right?
And then I kind of just kind of start figuring it out by ear, and I could tell, like, okay, it sounds like it's in baritone tuning, and just kind of trusting that. And then you look at like shitty, like all pixelated it's like 480 cell phone footage posted up on YouTube, all that bootleg shit, and you can kind of see where his hands at.
Yeah, where's your finger at? Yeah,
like you kind of tell he's doing a power chord right here, and then it's just kind of trial and error with the guitar and whatnot. It's just that's the way to do it.
Yeah, I know.
Trust your ear and
going
watch the
by
video.
ear, dude. I mean,
bootleg
for sure.
videos and your.
You can't go wrong with that. I mean, then it's right, or you figure that out. But I mean, these tabs, dude. I mean, it's crazy. I'm like, there should be someone regulating these. What the heck is going on here? This is clearly wrong, man. Like, it's not right that some people are learning this version and probably going out to a bar and playing it next week. And I'm like, my ears are bleeding. You're playing the wrong version, man. I know that tab. I saw that tab. You're playing it wrong, Yeah, I hear you.
He's like, you gotta check your facts.
Yeah, get it right. Go by ear, dude. Just take it back home. Go back roots style, bro.
You start
figure it out on your own.
Fake tabs hashtag.
I know, huh?
It's all fake tabs.
Saboteur. That's great, dude. So, okay, Schecter guitars. Get into your Schecter guitars for me. I mean, I've seen, dude, so many different ones.
They're all fantastic. It's like, somebody asked me, like, a couple weeks ago, like, what's my favorite one?
I know. I was going to get there.
I can't answer that because I love them all so much.
They all do something different. I mean, people that don't know, why do you have so many guitars?
'Cause they're all
You don't
awesome.
know, man. It's like a golfer with all his golf clubs. I mean, like, they all do something different.
I'm incredibly blessed to be with such an awesome company with amazing people behind it. I mean, the Schecter, they make you feel like family. They're really one of the best companies.
Where are they based out of?
They're out of Sun Valley.
Okay.
So it's just a little north of Burbank. And they're just... I think northeast or east. I'm a little shaky on LA.
How often do you make
landscape.
Trip out to the factory just to
every so often just to get my stuff set up. I have friends that work out there. My buddy Josh and Mike, they have a Tool tribute band called Arizona Bay. That's pretty badass, and I've done some shows with them in the past. And then Todd, the guy that does a lot of the maintenance stuff over there on the guitars and whatnot, he's just a badass luthier. Guy's killer, very knowledgeable. Mm-hmm. So like when I got my Floyd from them, the Dragon Burst, I suck at setting up Floyd Rose guitars, so he was really cool and took the time to show me how to do proper setup on a Floyd Rose guitar, and how to maintenance it, and when I change strings, and how to avoid catastrophe in playing this guitar live. Something if I were to break a string, like hey, if shit hits the fan, like here's the route you want to go.
Right.
So they're all really cool over there. And then, Michael and Anthony, CEO. Michael, the CEO is just an awesome dude. Really, really kind-hearted person. He awesome guitar player too, man. He's working on a solo record, Beauty and Chaos, which is due to release in September. So that's gonna be really cool because I love bands like The Cure and like that kind of goth, spacey kind of lots of effects and that kind of music. And that's a lot with his record
and stuff.
He has a lot of badass singers and badass session players playing and stuff. Like he has Doug Picnic from King's X. I just saw a picture on Instagram not too long ago. He had like Michael Anthony in the studio singing vocals on something.
Oh, that's cool.
He has his wife Tish, who's a killer bass player, laying some tracks on it too.
What's Doug playing on right now? He's playing with the MC50.
MC50? What's that?
That's Eddie Kramer. What? Not Eddie Kramer. I'm sorry. What's his name? The dude from MC5, Eddie something or other. It's like revolving. It's Kim Thale from Soundgarden. It's Matt Cameron from Pearl Jam Soundgarden on drums. Doug on bass. There's a singer from another band because none of the original guys are around. But they do. They're on tour right now. It's called, instead of MC5, it's called MC50 because it's like the 50th anniversary or some shit like that.
Dude, that's epic.
And he put like this kind of all-star band together. And I almost want to say maybe it's like the drummer from Black Crowes or something too.
Dude.
Kind of revolving kind of thing.
That's killer.
And I know Kim Thale is like a mainstay.
That's badass.
And
man.
so is Doug, I believe, on bass. And then there's the singer. I'm forgetting the name of the singer and what band he's from right now. But anyway, he's like put this little thing together and they're touring. They did Europe and then they're going to play some shows out here. And that was the first thing. I hadn't seen anything about Doug in like days, dude. And I was like, oh, that's hella cool, dude. They put this thing together.
I saw him live. They had him, the Schecter Party, I think it was last NAMM or the NAMM before. I can't remember exactly.
Yeah.
It was a NAMM before because the last one was they had the Addicts play, which was badass. But
how you pronounce his last name? Picnic or Pit?
I'm horrible at that.
Yeah,
I'm horrible at it.
Me too.
Yeah, I'm the worst at that.
So anyway, you got to meet him at the NAMM show then, or what?
No, I didn't get to meet him. I just saw him play live, and they were just killer, man.
Just killing it.
King's X. I'd never heard them before that.
Yeah.
I didn't want to because I knew they were playing, but I didn't want to whenever I know I'm going to go see a band play, I'm not going to listen to any of their music before going. I want to just get going fresh.
See, I never knew about them. Eddie from Pearl Jam brought him out for some songs like on tour, and they must have opened for PJ or something.
Yeah.
And he was like, "Oh, I'm gonna bring out Doug from King's X and this and that." And then I was like, "Who's this King's X guy? I gotta find out." And like, so that's what got me into that. And I think the bass player from Pearl Jam, Jeff, did a solo album where he had Doug play on that album.
That's killer.
And I was just like, dude, this guy kills it, bro, with the bass.
Like, fantastic performer.
Really
the whole band's badass.
Yeah. So yeah, he's a good dude. So okay. Big question. How many Schecter guitars do you own? / how many guitars do you own non-Schecter?
Let's see.
Let's make some people jealous right now.
I gotta bust out my fingers for this.
You bastard.
I got 1, 2, 3. I have to visualize.
Yeah,
them.
I feel you. I'm there too.
Dragon Burst, Solo 2 Custom, Banshee, Damien, Venture, SLS Elite. So I got 6 electrics from them.
Okay. And
then I have a bass, and then I have an acoustic.
Okay. That's just Schecter.
That's just Schecter. And then I have a James Hetfield Snakebite.
Okay.
That just is an art piece. I like to look at it.
Right.
Give homage to the het.
Right.
Pop a het. And then I got a Gibson Standard.
Yeah.
I got from when I graduated high school.
Right.
And that one's a cool one. That's very that I'll give that guitar some love in this home studio sometimes, just kind of noodle around on it, you know, want to kind of get all nostalgic.
Right.
But I mean, all the studio stuff I lay down, all the stuff I perform with, the Schecters, they take the beating on that.
Yeah, that's your mainstay.
They just stay in tune better. Like the Gibson's cool, I love it, it's rad, but it doesn't stay in tune as well. Like the intonation on my Schecters, any of them, like once it's set up, unless something radical happens, like I don't need to get it set up again. I just change strings.
They're good. They're good to go.
Fucking fire on all cylinders all the time. They take their beatings. I don't really ever worry about them. They're built solid.
Now, do you have a few main ones out of those ones that you play more, or do you rotate them try to rotate them as much as possible?
I try to rotate them as much as possible. Like right now, the Banshee is getting a lot of love, and then I'll bring the Solo 2 Custom as a backup.
Okay.
And I think I'm gonna bring out my SLS Elite a little bit more as I get more comfortable playing 7.
Right.
You know, I'm starting to kind of challenge myself with learning some more 7-string type stuff.
Yeah.
It's pretty cool.
Right.
You know, I like the combination between baritone tuning, like being able to get down low and play that baritone tuning stuff, and then have that extra E on top is real nice. So you can kind of you can play some heavy shit without having to go, tune down the guitar and whatnot.
Right. Yeah, and then when you're tracking, you can layer a lot of different stuff too. As well.
Yeah,
so,
for sure. It's a killer thing to have, you know.
Yeah. So with your Instagram thing, or even like I guess the Facebook with your. It's mostly covers. Tell me about like originals. Like what's going on with like your original stuff that you do?
So I'm recently started getting more into writing originals. Like I did there's a video up on my YouTube channel called My First Metal Demo, where I kind of just record the entire process of me writing this demo of a song.
Yeah, I saw that's cool.
And I'm just gonna kind of keep on doing some stuff like that, and just take different ideas.
That's totally cool.
And I have one I'm working on right now. It's pretty heavy. It's on my 7-string. It's called Fender, and it has like a lot of just different cool little riffs. I like mythology a lot.
Yeah.
So I always try to like pick titles.
Yeah,
and stuff like that.
I thought it was cool. You were kind of like, this sounds like I can't remember what it was, like Hammer of the Gods or whatever it was.
Egyptian-y.
Yeah. It's cool where you kind of like find the inspiration of what it sounds like, and I think I'm gonna name this.
Yeah.
And like it was cool, but it was really cool to see like your process. I think people will really be interested in seeing that coming from an artist, where like you can kind of see you hammering out the riffs and stuff. And okay, well, I found this. Okay, so let's add. Now we got to add a bridge to this riff, and then we're gonna come up with a chorus and blah blah blah. And you get to see the process. It's a cool thing because most people just see the polished, finished product.
I don't want to like sell anybody on bullshit. Like it's like I fuck up all the time.
Right.
Mistakes happen in the studio, in live performances, like playing a wrong note, like that might be a wrong note for the time, but if it's been a misplaced good note, something like that, it's just like gotta let it roll the punches. And
totally.
I like to document all that stuff. So I try to
keep it raw.
I try to keep it raw as much as possible, so I could fit in a time frame where someone will actually want to watch it. Because if I had like the entire thing on there, it's like fucking 8 hours. Like who's gonna watch an 8-hour video? Nobody. Yeah. So like I just kind of went
especially
through.
This day and age, dude. Short attention span thing. Like
I'm lucky that I'm really glad you watched it, because I was kind of iffy on just posting a 10-minute video. Like who's gonna watch a 10-minute video?
Yeah. Right. Yeah.
Because before it was all just like play along covers, and those are doing really well and getting some traction here and there. And, now I'm kind of going more in that route, and then I'm also still like learning songs. I'm gonna do some play along covers still, but I'm gonna pick more challenging songs and kind of like put more time into like learning that kind of material, and that also kind of split up time for writing as well. It's cool stuff.
Well, speaking of raw, I always try to ask a little bit of some parts of the questioning going on with trials and tribulations. I mean, everybody, as I said, with a polished kind of thing, with a lot of my guests, I always kind of try to just ask a little bit. I mean, some people are more willing than others to get into it, but for me, I always think that there's the yin and the yang of the story, and it seems like, you're sitting pretty, you got this gear, you got all this stuff, you're going on, you're gigging, you got the videos, you got all this stuff, but there's always some downtime, there's always some down things, there's always something that throughout this, let's say, career of yours, even though you're a young guy, there's always like pitfalls, and there's things that maybe haven't gone so well, lessons learned. There's always these things that we really do learn from, and where the bad, really, the things that happen that mold us into and make us take these right or left turns, and make us learn from these mistakes that we make, or just life things that happen. I mean, these things are what make us. I like the raw part of all that. I mean, there is the polished version, the story, the great grand story of like what everything that went good, and like what people kind of want you want to paint this picture of everything's all good. But, is there any trials and tribulations that you went through during this whole process,
Yeah, absolutely.
Let's get real here for a minute. Get into some of the things, because that's really what molds these stories and these people that I interview, of letting them know that it's not always good, and like that's where you got to go through the bad to get to the good, to appreciate the good.
That's true. Well, and you also have to look out for yourself.
Right.
you know, it's people. People can sometimes put too much trust into people that aren't deserving of it, and I have made that mistake so many times. You know, especially being a young guy coming up into music.
Right.
You know, people have this saying about like it takes a community to raise a musician, and that's true to a bit. You know, but at the same time, you know, sometimes, you know, there's people in that community that, you know, just, you know, don't have your best interest at heart and, you know, can stab you in the back.
For sure.
You know, like, I don't want to name any names and all that stuff, but it's like, you know, like I was working on a project and, you know, just, I wasn't happy with how things were going. And, you know, did have like, nothing was ever just, here's what it is, straightforward, to the point, no bullshit, just like, hey, I'm mad about this, or I'm upset about that. Mm-hmm. There was none of that. It was all this kind of background noise behind things, hush hush, and like nobody's really saying anything. Mm-hmm. And like, I hate that stuff with bands, and I hate that stuff as a person. You know, so like I was in a toxic situation with a band a number of years ago. This was before I started working with Macy, and we were recording a record and stuff together. And, you know, I had some ideas for some solos and stuff like that, and I'd lay down ideas and whatnot. And I'm young. I have no idea what the fuck I'm doing. Right. I listen back on what I did then, and I'm like, well, I'm a way better player now than I was then. But, you know, getting back to the point, like the other guitar player in the band was so upset that I was laying down these tracks, and instead of confronting me and, you know, having a dialogue,
communication,
he bitch to the singer about it. Okay. And then that makes the singer a bad guy, and then it just becomes this whirlwind of just drama and nonsense, and it's just like, you know, fuck it. Yeah. Like, I ended up walking away from that and taking a step back, and, you know, you guys sometimes just realize, like, even though you think people are your friends in that moment, that they're not, because people who want to play ball for you show up when it's time to hit the bat. Like, you know, this just goes without saying. But that was one of them, you know. And then like not music related, but like my older brother had some struggles with addiction, and that kind of had its deal, you know. The whole family was really affected by that, but now he's clean and sober, which, you know, God willing, it's amazing. He's, you know, clean now. But that, you know, was another thing that kind of detracted from, you know, just everybody's life a little bit. It's like, you know, like, hey man, like, get your life back together.
Yeah. You're dealing with life situations.
Yeah,
really.
life situations, you know. And then like when Macy switched her sound and I wasn't getting those kind of gigs anymore, that was a bummer. Yeah. But I also understand and respect what she had to do, because she wasn't doing like
it's her prerogative,
like, right, like the sound that she was doing before, like the Paramore thing, like she could do it and it was rad for her, but like it really wasn't like her thing. Like she didn't really grow up in like the rock thing. Like
her heart wasn't into it, or what?
Well, like she doesn't like know Metallica and stuff like that. Right. It's like if you're gonna kind of play to metalheads and kind of want to play to that hardcore scene, like you're gonna have to know those things. Do your
research and embrace it all. Yeah.
It's like, you know, either do that or, you know, do what you really want to do. And now she's doing what she wants to do, and that's like awesome. And I like seeing what she's doing. But
totally.
When that shift happened, it bummed me out. Yeah. Because like shit, man. Like I went through having a sweet gig where I'm on a bus touring and playing in front of thousands of people, like to, you know, now I'm back, you know, doing what I was doing before, which I love still.
It's the course, you know, part of the course.
Part of the course, you know, so like that's like one disappointment, but like
for sure,
I'm just very fortunate that all the companies and relationships I developed to that stuck with me. And
you have the experiences. Exactly. I mean, that molds you as a person. And,
exactly.
You know, I mean, that's all part of the path. I mean, we can't see it 20/20 hindsight, the whole thing.
Exactly.
You know, but one thing leads to another, you know, doors closed, doors open, and all that. You know?
My dad tells me, like, you know, fail forward.
Yeah.
You know, like every time I have a bad gig or something doesn't go the way I thought it should have went, it's like, hey, I just, you know, it failed, but, you know, take those experiences and just kind of push it forward. Yeah. You know, I'm very blessed to have a, you know, dad who's behind my back and
totally.
and wise.
Well, you're a youngster, dude. All these, like, may those be false starts or whatever you want to call them.
Yeah.
Those are lessons learned.
Absolutely.
You know, and you take those with you and you press on, you move forward, and you have those things to kind of pull from as you navigate. You know, and for sure.
I don't think there's anybody that does this as a career that hasn't experienced some sort of
pitfalls.
Nonsense.
Yeah. Right. Yeah.
You know, just like whether it be working with people who are unprofessional, working with people who aren't straightforward.
Yeah.
just the whole gambit.
Yeah. I mean, we all have moments where we question it too, and we're down on ourselves, and we're wondering, it's like,
should I cut my hair and get the plumbing job?
Yeah, right.
And it's like, I know for a fact,
my soul is not there, but should I? Yeah.
I always think about my mom's dad, my papa. Like, he's 82 years old, and he was signed with RCA Victor in like the late 50s. And he gave up that lifestyle and to go into ministry, and has done that for the last 60 years. And, he's a very godly man, and spreads worship all around the country, and he's been doing it for 60 plus years. And it's like, he can look back on his career and not have any regret.
Yeah,
he's done it, and
totally.
It's like, I want to have that kind of peace. I want to leave it all out on the table. So if it fails and something happens to where I can't do it, it's like, at least I had the balls to put it all out there.
Yeah.
And people are going to be always people are going to criticize. Like, there's always going to be the negative comments and the criticisms, and you could have done this better, or like, I'd like to see you try that. And it's just like, I post videos and I play music because something for me.
Yeah. Your heart and soul is into it, man.
Exactly.
I mean, like, being able to follow that dream and that I don't know, I can't think of the word, but that pull
the
for
passion.
Yourself. Yeah, for sure. I mean, that's your thing, and giving that your all and that a try in this lifetime is only something that when you're on your deathbed, you're not going to go, I woulda, shoulda, coulda.
Yeah, right? Like,
hey, man, I gave it my all for that, and whether it did work out, maybe it didn't work out, whatever, at least you have that, like, reassurance in yourself to know, like, I gave it a try, you know?
Balls to the wall, like, everything I could.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I had a dad that, like, worked a 9-to-5 job, and, like, he pretty much hated all his jobs, and that was kind of an example for me to see, like, my dad coming home, and, like, he provided, which was such a strong, really, I mean, as a man and as a father figure and as a mentor and all those things, was such a good example. But hearing him, he worked for Roland and stuff, and he had to drive from Corona out to Slauson Avenue in LA.
Shit.
2.5-hour drive to work and 2.5-hour drive back every night.
Trek, man.
And he just would come home bitter and pissed, and and I mean, he's a warehouse manager, so I mean, it wasn't like he was like in the music scene or anything. He was just dealing with that kind of world, and it was cool for me because I'm like, my dad works at a music place, and I, got amps and got cool stuff, and he kind of took care of me. But man, he really hated his job, man. I mean, like, he would come home just bitter from the traffic and the driving and and it was just like, it was such an example for me that, like, maybe the 9-to-5 cubicle, not that that's what he did, but like that mindset, that's really not for me, and I don't know. I can't. If I had to, and for your family or whatever, I get it. Some people, we just have to buckle down. We got to do it. But I'm willing to try anything and everything before I cross that threshold, Yeah. Just so, like we say, when I do get to that end of days, I'm on my deathbed, I'll know, hey, man, I tried every other pursuit, every avenue before I resorted to that.
Exactly.
To know that, I gave it my all.
And now's the time, it's the best time to do it. Now more than ever. I mean, you have things like podcasts, social media, like I mean, in less than 6 months, I went from having 2,000 followers to 6, like 4,000 people. It's like, how the fuck does that even happen? Like, just, it's crazy, It's crazy how things can grow with consistency. And
staying true to yourself and just going forward, man.
It's awesome, man.
Yeah,
like, it really is. I'm excited to see where everything goes.
And people follow that. People see that. The intuition of that really shines through, and that's what garners those followers, is that realness that comes through with you following that passion and being able to
I know
just pursue
they're real people
it.
Too. Like I was at the grocery store today, man, and like a kid that follows my YouTube channel like saw me in line. Is like, hey, I'll follow your YouTube channel. Yeah, this is like, what? This is so cool. Like, I'm interacting with a person that watches my videos and cares about what I'm doing.
Totally.
In real life. Like, this is awesome. So I'm glad I had pics on me. He was like, here you go, dude.
Oh,
like,
killer, dude.
Yeah, I always try to like be as cool as I can to people that like take the time to say hi, because it's awesome.
Yeah,
like, so somebody cares about like what I'm doing.
Yeah.
It's awesome.
It's always a good feeling to be recognized for your work, you know? I mean, whether it's on a small scale or a large scale, doesn't matter. Whether it's the kid at the grocery store, or whether it's like, you know, I've gone platinum and I've got 5,000, you know, followers on my thing or whatever, whatever that may be.
Yeah, whatever it is.
Yeah, you know, it always does feel good to be recognized. So you know that you put your heart and soul into something. And whether it's just 5 people that dig it, well, there's 5 million people that dig it. You know, for yourself, really, just to know that you get here and there. You know, the recognition is always like really cool thing for sure. You know,
absolutely is, man. And I think it's like the quality of people behind your following is way more important than the quantity.
Yeah, the fans.
Yeah, the fans. Like the people that send me DMs and stuff like that.
Right.
Like there's so many cool people that will reach out to me on social media. It's hard to keep track of all of them, but I have a buddy that's in Michigan that's pretty cool. His name's Jordan.
Okay.
He writes some really badass metal shit. We're like talking about doing a collab down the road, and
nice.
My buddy Toby, who's in Germany.
Wow, dude.
And it's cool. We got like a little Instagram squad, dude.
Yeah, totally.
You know, we'll see how each other's doing. We all post videos all the time and stuff. And it's cool to have friends that are kind of doing the same thing that you're kind of doing.
Yeah, right.
You know, and it's like all internet based too. It's totally bizarre.
Right.
You know.
Yeah.
I have a couple of diehard fans that are in like Indonesia, and Brazil, and stuff like that.
That's so weird.
It's like everything. And it's like thank you so much. Like
how you can reach that mass audience out.
The love that comes in from those people is just absolutely awesome. It's whenever I get a negative comment, I just want to just spit back venom because I fucking just have. I have it for days. I can just be like, vomit on somebody and make them feel like garbage about themselves. But it's like I don't want to put that energy out there.
Yeah, totally.
And plus, I have all these cool people that
outweigh that bad one for sure.
Yeah, right.
I mean,
if the scales the bad people are here. They're lifted up because the other side of the scale is lifted so weighed down by positivity and people who care.
Yeah.
There's more thumbs up than the thumbs down. There's more. Good jobs and thank you for making this video and stuff like that. Then man, you fucking suck. And I could have done it better. Or your articulation and the tone and the physicality, the polarities. I'm like.
So I got a little sidetracked. I did want to ask you when we were talking about the Schechter stuff.
Yeah.
How did that all come to be for you? Who did you meet? How did you end up getting sponsored by those guys?
So this is when I was working with Macy. We did a show at the Conga Room for the Radio Disney Music Awards.
Okay.
They had a little after party thing that they were doing at the Conga Room, and I was playing with Macy. Was playing Jacob Whitesides, who's a Disney Channel guy, and there's some other girl, B Miller, who has with one song Fire and Gold. That was pretty cool. Sorry. That's my lunch.
No worries.
So I was playing that, and then before we went on, we were just kind of all hanging out in the green room, and it's bitching because it's Disney, so they have an awesome green room spread and stuff. And I was hanging back there, and I'm with Macy's crew and her mom and her manager at the time, and then Danny was there too, and then. Danny introduced me to Michael and Tish, and Michael is the president of Schechter Guitars, and Tish is the president of Daisy Rock.
Okay.
And Macy at the time was working with Daisy Rock as a brand ambassador. Okay. And then we were just kind of hanging backstage, and if I remember correctly, I think Michael was wearing a Glock shirt. He had a jacket on, like a nice tux jacket and a Glock shirt. And I grew up in Arizona, and I grew up shooting guns,
right.
So my uncle had quite the arsenal to speak of, so I grew up shooting AR-15s, and he had a tax stamp from the ATF, so he had a suppressor and had a 300 round drum mag. It's fucking insane.
The
firepower my uncle had, dude. So when we go to a range out in Casa Grande, man, we would throw lead down for hours. It was fun. It was great times as a kid, sighting in sights and putting shit down range. Just cool. So I saw a Glock t-shirt, it made me think of my uncle. Oh dude, that's badass. And we just started talking about guns, and it was a cool hang. And after talking with him and stuff like that, and after the show, he's invited me down to the factory.
Okay.
And I came down to Sun Valley and checked out their headquarters. They gave me a whole tour of the facility. And we met back up in his office. And it's like, well, we're going to put a guitar in your hands. And I was just like, what? He was like, what is happening? So, I kind of told him like what I like, and he pointed me in the right direction of a really awesome guitar, and that was the Avenger. And I started playing the Avenger, and I used that all throughout the rest of the time with Macy. I took that with me to Manila. I used it on Warped Tour and stuff, and I still have the guitar. It's a fantastic axe, and I've been with them since. Whenever I make anything, I try to tip my hat always to Schecter, because they're just fantastic.
Right.
They're awesome. I love everybody over there, and they're all super kind people.
This is not a plug.
I mean, this is a plug. We love Schecter. No,
dude, Schecter is fucking awesome, man. Like even like you did the Guitar Center wall test, man. Go pick up a Schecter off the wall and then go play a Fender. Not to talk crap on Fender. I'm just saying. All the Schecter stuff comes out of the box better. It's their
Floyd Rose stuff is pretty killer too. We were talking about that earlier. And
the Floyd Rose 1500 series with the stainless steel part upgrades. I mean, like, you have no problems. Like, I had a Ibanez before I started playing Schecter when I was in high school. I had an Ibanez RG, and it had the Edge 3 on it. And you learn very quickly the importance of stainless steel screws on a fucking bridge like that. Because, like, you'll go through to tighten up your thing, and it's like the fucking head breaks off, like, son of a bitch.
Yeah, right.
And you gotta go, like, get the grab it thing.
Yeah.
Or replace a saddle, which for, like, the Edge 3 is so expensive. It's like $50 a fucking saddle. You have to order it from Ibanez and wait, 3 months. I'm like... how?
Yeah.
Why?
Right.
With like the stainless steel upgraded Floyd Rose 1500 series, like, dude, there's no issues with it. Plus, it has a pop-in tremble. It's not the screw on like the old school ones. Just pop in that bitch in there, and you got a little Allen thing to tighten up the tension on it. So slick. So slick. So you don't got
I'm sure you played your fair share of all the other ones. So I mean, you know what you like and what you don't like.
Oh, absolutely. I'm glad that, like, I'm with the company I want to play career long. It's awesome.
Right. It's always good to have something that you truly do believe in when you're talking to, I mean,
right.
That's a big difference. It
is a big difference. Like, like some people, a couple of people asked me about endorsements, and it's just like, just make sure, like, whoever you're partnering with, like, that's the company that you really believe in. Like, like, you really believe in their product, and like, I mean, like, really believe it. Not like, oh, like, this artist went to this company and now I want to play these guitars. And, or like,
it's going to make it that much easier to promote it if you really believe in it.
Exactly.
That's for sure.
Like, everybody who asks me a question about a guitar, I was like, just get a Schecter. Like, and like anything of their... Because I think all their guitars now have their custom shop pickups in it. They're all passives, and then all the active pickup lines are all Fishman influences. Right. So, like, they're really ahead of the curve as far as, like, keeping current products and the thing, like my SLS Elite that came out for this year, that has the Ernie Ball compensated nut, has the Fishman influences in it.
It's updated for sure.
It's updated. It has some, like, it has a hip shot bridge on it. It's a rock solid guitar with some really cool features that, like, the guitar geeks like me, like to see in an axe. And it's fucking bulletproof. You can take it anywhere, any temperature, anything, and beat the shit out of it for a show, and it'll be standing ready to take it the next night, the night after that, and so on. It's pretty cool.
That is killer, dude. So you're a local boy now. What's your plans? Are you no plans on leaving this area, right? You're pretty much out here for now, or?
Yeah, I like being in Marietta Temecula because I have my gig base here, and I have
close to the beach, close to the mountains, all that good stuff.
Exactly, it's very central. So if I do something in San Diego, I know it's an hour. If I do something in Orange County or LA, I know it's an hour.
Totally.
It's centrally located. It's not bad.
There's kind of a little scene out here. I mean, I've noticed it, and from people I've talked to, I've only been here for 2 years, but people I've talked to have said it's been growing. It's only getting bigger, and there's a lot of venues. I mean, whether it be bars or whether it be like actual venues in the area, and like you say, close to San Diego, LA, where the venues are there. I mean, legit venues, and so there's a lot. There's a mini scene going on. I feel like that's just growing and getting bigger. I mean, there's a lot of restaurants, there's a lot of bars that support local musicians, really, and
The only time I ever see myself moving out of here is if I go off the grid. like full on, like, you know, because I used to raise, you know, birds, and I had a garden for a while. Like, I like the whole idea of self-sufficiency, kind of prepping.
Totally.
You know, like
I like that show Off the Grid, actually.
Yeah, I do backlog. You know, keep back some, you know, water. So
where would you go? Wyoming or Montana or like some kind of crazy
like my family, our dream as a family is to, you know, get a big old piece of property and build like a compound on it and stuff. So wherever we can do that.
Yeah, right.
You know, me personally, I love Colorado.
Okay, yeah.
Colorado is
nice,
beautiful. We have family friends that are in Grand Junction.
Okay.
And I stayed out there for a summer with them, and I fell in love with Colorado.
Yeah.
It's like,
I have family in Arvada.
Yeah.
So
it's
but we've been through. I mean, we've done road trips and stuff through there.
Yeah, it's beautiful country.
Damn Rockies, man, with those Rams up there and stuff. I mean, it's like beautiful.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
There's great hunting out there.
Yeah.
You know, the laws aren't super crazy.
Totally.
You know, there's pot's legal out there too.
Yeah.
That's always a win.
Yeah.
You know, so I, you know, see if it ever comes to that, but you know, for the time being, I don't see myself going anywhere as far as like moving like home base. I want to get back into touring and getting out on the road, and
for sure
getting to meet these people that follow me on Instagram, and you know, kind of, you know, be like, hey, what's up, dude? Want to buy a shirt?
Taking it out.
Let's hang out. Let's grab a beer. Let's hang out, dude.
Cool.
You know, like connect with you know, the people that are out there that are, you know, giving my stuff love.
Yeah. Oh, I look forward to seeing some shirts in the future.
Oh, dude, yeah.
That'd be cool.
I got my design team on it.
That's cool.
My mom and dad are kind of, they design the hats, and I suck at design. Mm-hmm. The H logo thing was like a strike of lightning.
Yeah.
I don't know how it happened. It just happened, and it looked cool. And I'm like, all right, cool. But like everything else is just, you know, design wise, been my pops and my mom, you know, putting their brains together, and then I just get final say.
Yeah. Hey, man,
which I'm thankful for that.
You got somebody in your corner. They got artistic eye. That's all you need.
Dude, my mom's incredibly talented when it comes to design, man. I was blown away. I was like, damn, mom, like you've been hiding this forever, dude. Like seriously, I'm like, I only like, dude, she totally could have been a graphic designer for a career, man. Like she's so talented. If she didn't, you know, make her job raising kids, she'd definitely be a graphic designer.
Totally.
Yeah, man.
Well, good for you, bro.
Thank you, dude. Appreciate it.
That's good stuff.
Yeah, man.
Well, my friend, I feel like we've covered all the ground here.
I think so too.
Anything else that you want to mention or talk about here, or are you feeling good about it?
Subscribe.
Yes, subscribe.
What's the name of the podcast again?
Krooked Hearts Podcast.
Subscribe to Krooked Hearts Podcast.
Thank you.
You nasty bitches.
Well, I thank you for coming on, brother. It's been a really good interview. It's been fun. We will keep everybody updated as to all your ongoings and whatnot.
Thank you, man. So, appreciate it.
It's been a blast. I really appreciate you coming on.
Oh, of course.
All right, brother.
Thanks for having me, dude.
You got it. Thank you.
Thanks.
All right. Well, that was a great interview with Mr. Hunter Havokk. He's a local staple here in town. Definitely killing it. This guy is sponsored by Schecter and Ernie Ball, and for good reason. You know, as we mentioned in the episode of many of his musical conquests that he's had, and so you can check him out on Facebook. He's under Hunter Havokk, Havokk, and that is as well. That is on his Instagram as well, and he just reached like 10K on all his followers on his Instagram, which he was spreading much love out for that. This guy is definitely a force to be reckoned with. He's got a lot going on. He's always kind of in the scene playing. He does a lot of shows and stuff as well. So keep your eye out for that. He does do a lot of YouTube videos, and these are very cool, very, very cool produced videos, very cool song selections, and his shreddabilities, his sense of shredness is definitely represented in these videos that he does. So definitely check those out. He's on YouTube as well. He's got quite a following on there. I think over 1,000 followers with that as well. And I believe he may have done one of his own first podcasts. So you might want to check that out. That's on his YouTube page, and that's under Hunter Havokk. And so much love to him, and really appreciate him coming out and talking to us. It was a great conversation. We look forward to checking back in with him and seeing what his endeavors will be in the future. We're always, as musicians, evolving and turning the tides as we go through our journey here. So I really appreciate him giving his time and giving, you know, his story. So We're very appreciative of that. And once again, I want to thank all the listeners, all the love that we've had. Hopefully we will continue to rise with this journey of my own through this podcast. And I'm just so thankful for everybody. This has been a blessing, and I love it. I love being able to sit down with musicians here in town and showcase them. There needs to be more venues that can, show the local talent here in town. There's so much more to tap into, and there's a lot of great venues and a lot of great events that go on here in town, and we'll dip more into that. We've got some other wheels going to the machine here that we'll be implementing into the whole scheme of things with this Vibratory Productions and the Krooked Heart Podcast. So I just want to thank my listeners once again. Thank you so much. And this is Andy the Diehl with the Krooked Hearts Podcast. We are out.